Okay, welcome to Geometry Notes 4.1. We're going to start with, right at the top here, what is a translation? So a translation moves a point. So a translation moves a point from one location to another location. So I have a point here, and I'm moving it to here. That's a translation. So, let's see here. A vector shows the direction and the distance of the movement. So I've got my initial point. This is where I start, the starting point. And let's say my starting point, let's use the example we just did. So somewhere up here, that would be negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is at negative 5, 6. All right? So our starting point in this example is negative 5, 6. And the terminal point, so where we're moving it to. And let's call this point A. All right? We'll call that point A. And the terminal point is our ending point. And we're going to call that A prime, right? So we moved it from negative 5, 6 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, positive 3. So 6, positive 3, and we're calling that A prime. We just put that little apostrophe there to know that that's the moved point. So we're going to think about this in a couple of ways, right? We're going to say, well, there's two directions that we moved this, right? We've got our horizontal component, so that's how far it moves on the x-axis. So right to left, that's right and left on the x-axis. And then the vertical component is, how far did we move it up and down on the y-axis, right? So that's up and down on the y-axis. So let's see here. Let's calculate our horizontal component. So that's over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 it looks like, right? So we moved it 11 units to the right. So this to the right, that's a positive, right? We're moving that towards the positive. So we're going to say our vector has this sort of like pointed parenthesis bracket. So that's 11, right? We moved it positive 11. And then our vertical component, we went down 1, 2, 3, right? So we went down 3. So that's in the negative direction, right? We went down negative 3. So I'm going to say that's negative 3. And then close off our bracket. So this is the vector notation. This is how we would write this as a vector. We go to the right 11 and then down 3. That's what that means when we see it written like that. So, similar to slope, right? But not exactly. I mean, the main difference between a vector and slope is slope. So slope, you repeat over and over again, while a vector is here, slope, you repeat over and over again, while a vector is a one-time movement. And slope you use to make predictions, time over money or something like that, where a vector you would use to chart changes, like chart a change in location. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's take point A. and that's at -5, -1. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the negative direction, 1 in the negative direction. So this is point A. And our vector here, I'm going to rewrite this. It was supposed to be all on one line. Our vector is 8, -2. So positive 8. Positive means this is our horizontal component, so that's going to go to the right 8. And then the vertical component is negative, so we're going to go down 2. So I'm going to go to the right 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I'm going to go down 2. 1, 2. So my new point, A prime, is going to be right there. That's my new point, A prime. And so A prime is located, our new coordinate is, this is positive 1, 2, 3, and down 3, so that's 3, -3. So let's try it again with another point, B, which is at 2, 7. So up, over to the right 2, up 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So point B is right here. And our vector says to go -6. So this is the horizontal component. So negative is going to be to the left 6. And this time our vertical component's positive. So we're going to go up 1. So let's count that out. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then up 1. So B prime, our new B, is going to be right there. And so our new coordinates are -1, 2, 3, 4, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So -4, 8 is our location for B prime. So let's see if we can do it with one more. C is going to be at 3, -4, so that's positive 3, -4, right close to our A prime, so that's C. And then we're going to use the vector 3, 8. So let's ask ourselves, is this 3 positive or negative? That's positive, so that's going to be to the right 3. And our vertical component is positive, so that's going to be up 8. So let's count that out. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 to the right, and then up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So C prime, our moved point, C prime is right there. So we moved it along the vector 3, 8. And so C prime is located at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 4. Here. Okay, so there's a second notation, right? So there's a different notation that we use when talking about these vectors. And so this is the one kind of notation. This is called vector notation. Vector notation. Then there is also what would be called translation notation. And it looks kind of like this. So there's two ways that we write this. And the most important thing to remember, they mean the same thing. Although typically with this sort of translation notation, we see this with multiple points. And that's not always true, but it's usually true. So, for example, with this one, we did this earlier, this vector, 8, -2. We would say, okay, we write it like this, x, y, we write the initial point with an arrow, and then, so this is the initial point, and then the translation, and then we say x plus 8, y, this is -2, minus 2. So that's the only difference. So let's try with this next one. I've got a vector which says -6, +1. So again, I write x, y with an arrow, and I go x, since it's -6 there, x minus 6, and then y plus 1. And it means the exact same thing. I'm going to the left 6, up 1, right? Exact same thing. So the last one, this vector is positive 3 on the x and negative 4 on the y. So we would say x, y, arrow, x plus 3, y minus 4. And actually, this is the one that comes up more frequently. So you'll see this one a lot more. Okay, so let's graph the following using this notation, right? So we've got 3 points. We've got J, which is at negative 3, positive 2. So that's J. And then we've got K, which is at negative 6, negative 5. So negative 3, negative 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be K. And then our last point is M, which is at positive 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So M is up there. And we're going to translate these using these directions here. So these directions. So what it's going to have us do, plus 5 on the x. So 5 is positive, so that means we're going to the right 5. And then on the y, we've got minus 4, so that's negative, so that means we're going down 4. So let's try these. So J, I'm going to the right 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So J prime, the new point would be there. So J prime, so our translation went from there to there. Let's try with K. So I'm going to the right 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then down 4, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's K, so now this becomes K prime, and our translation is that. We moved it. And these two arrows should look pretty much the same, and it should look the same for M too, so I'm going to go, same thing, to the right 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be my M prime. Now it's asking for the new coordinates, so let's give them the new coordinates. So J is at, this is 1, 2, positive 2, negative 2. K is at negative 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Negative 9. And then M is at, looks like it's at 9, and 3. 9, 3. And there's a way we can check this. You know, we should be able to see, okay, well, negative 3 plus 5 is 2. Right? And 2 minus 4, 2 minus 4 is negative 2. Again, negative 6 plus 5 is negative 1. Negative 5 minus 4 is negative 9, and so on. Just a little way you can check your work. So let's try this one last one. And this time we're going to graph a shape. So I've got A, which is at negative 4, negative 2. So this is A. B is at negative 4, positive 5. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's B. And then C is at positive 3, negative 2. So C is here. So we've got ourselves a triangle. And we're going to move this triangle according to these directions. So it says, takes any point and negative 6. So negative is to the left. So we're going to go to the left 6. And then I've got a positive 5. So that's going to be up 5. So I'm going to go to the left 6. So let's start with A. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to the end, and then up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So A prime is going to be there. So A prime is at negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3. So now let's do it with B. B, we're going to the left 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 to the right, and then up 5, or 6 to the left, excuse me, up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So B prime is going to be there. And my new point is negative 10, positive 10. And then lastly, we'll do C. And C, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the left, and then up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my C prime is going to be there. And so we'll draw our new translated triangle. So it should look something like this. And we know we did it right if the shape turns out to be the same. And this new point is at negative 3, positive 3. So what I would like you to do is work on these practice problems. Do all of these 1 through 12 as best you can. You can draw this on graph paper. You could do this on graph paper. You could print this out maybe at the library or at home, and then take a picture of your completed work and email that to me if you can't turn it in person. Okay, good luck, and don't hesitate to reach out to me if you need help.